Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third place match of the IOPS OSL from 2005. I am Moletrap, and the man on the left side of your screen is none other than GoRush. He's going to be facing off against GoodFriend, who's on the right side of your screen right there. Look at GoRush. He's got like a leather jacket on, looking cool. Is that actually, I can't even tell because the chirple's in the way. I don't know if that's just like his jacket or if that's actually like his, if he's got if that's his team jacket or something like that. Anyway, we got a fantastic match I'm looking forward to here between these two players. Absolutely amazing play from both these guys. Both of them could have been in the finals, okay? Both semifinals went to a Game 5. And if little things had gone differently for either of these players, they would have been in the finals instead. So this is basically an alternate reality finals right here, ladies and gentlemen. GoRush versus GoodFriend could have been the finals of this tournament very easily. And so I think that there's not as much money on the line, but there's a lot of pride on the line for this match. And if you get third place, you get that little bronze badge next to your name forever. You get listed as one of the winners. The fourth place player does not get squat. The fame, people don't talk about fourth place finishes very much. First, seconds, and thirds are what they talk about. So there's definitely something on the line here, but I'm just looking forward to such a great matchup between these two players because, like I said, they're both finalists, quality players. So really cool stuff, and they're both coming off of very good presentations in this matchup. GoRush played against Nada, GoodFriend played against Jelizerg, so both players playing against the same race in the semifinal matchup and showing extreme high skill in that matchup. So I am super stoked about this. We do have the first map is Neo Guillotine, which famously has been difficult for Zerg players against Terrans. I mean, even just in the semifinals that we saw. Both players in this game, well, I guess Jelizerg won on this map, but that's Jelizerg, but I don't know, that's just GoRush too. I don't know. Anyway, point being though, it's a tricky map. It's a very tricky map, I think, especially for the Zerg player. Because you've got that weird choke point, and it's hard to defend both bases basically because they're kind of in different locations. We're seeing him go ahead and put that drone down into a hatchery in the expansion. GoodFriend going in is going to scout. What is going on here actually? Okay, he actually gets lucky and he scouts first. He scouts him first and sees it. Oh, and he actually delays the spawning pool. GoRush is just going to say like, alright, well, you want to mess around with my spawning pool at the top of my base? I'll make it at the bottom. But GoodFriend, this is going to say, I think he's probably just going to go for 2 barracks play. GoodFriend has gone 2 barracks against Zerg every single game, I think, against Jelizerg. Except for, of course, the weird one on Dreams of Ballet, which I think is the name of the, is that the one with the islandish type thing? Anyway, so he's just gonna go for his 2 barracks play, and he's doing a good job of delaying stuff. I mean, imagine if this SCV, imagine if GoRush spawns like corner position, and none of this harassment happens. The spawning pool is 2 seconds earlier. This hatchery is never going down. Look at how late this hatchery is as a result. And we saw in GoRush versus Nada, the Nada was able to take complete advantage of that delay and turn it into a quick win. He was able to take advantage of the sunken colonies being 10 seconds behind and overrun his opponent. Are we going to see GoodFriend take after that and do the same thing here is the question. GoodFriend is the same setup here we've seen him do before with the 2 supply depots at his choke point, which the Marines can squeeze through and Zerglings can squeeze through, but still makes a nice defensible position. If you go out with your attack, with your push, sorry about the sound there. If you guys heard that, my phone buzzing in the background, sorry about that. But what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, if you go out with your attack, if you leave 1 firebat and 1 medic in that gap between the depots, he's basically invincible against almost infinity Zerglings. And actually, those Marines need to get in that gap. He knows the Zerglings are there because he did. Okay, there we go. The SCV's in the gap. The Marines are right out. Okay, so he's in good shape. But he, of course, saw those Zerglings kill off the SCV. So he knew they were kind of in the mix. But again, it's just kind of amazing to think about. Like, what if this was cross corner positions? Uh-oh. What's going on? Okay, the video hiccuped for a minute, but it looks like it's back, so we'll keep going. Things will be a lot better, I think, for GoRush if they'd been cross positions. He does have his creep up. He is making sunken colonies, or creep colonies, I should say. He's made a few more Zerglings, maybe, than Zergs might try and get away with. Possibly as a result of the fact that he knew his defenses were going to be delayed. Here's that push. Now, he's pushing out a little bit later. Nada, after he delayed that hatchery, he pushed out early. He didn't wait for the firebacks and the medics, which is the standard push. 2 firebacks, 2 medics, push out, put your firebats as reinforcements to block counterattacks in your choke point. That's the standard stuff that we've seen in this era of 2004 and 5 StarCraft as far as TVZ goes. And Nada, after he delayed the hatchery, he pushed out early before the firebats and medics, and that's why he was able to get there before the sunken colonies were up. But in this case, GoodFriend has waited for the whole push. And so there are 2 sunken colonies up. He's got the Zerglings in a nice spot to look at this. He's blocking. He's put them in a spot where they can block the run by, which we saw Nada do so many times. He stimmed in. He ran by. He didn't care about the sunkens. He's just like, I'm going to ignore them and run straight by. And even when there were Zerglings blocking, he still pulled that off. But I think GoRush is in a good spot right here. He's actually snuck some Zerglings out. This is interesting. And GoodFriend is prepared for this for a potential counterattack. But this is kind of cool. He's like, and we've seen this before too. I don't remember if Nada did this actually on this map, or if it was even GoodFriend did this against a different Zerg. I don't remember, but I just remember we've seen this on this map before, where oh, he's gonna come in from behind and try and take out the factory, and actually he kind of messes up the movement. I don't know if he knew the factory was there or something, but didn't quite. He had a chance to pounce on that SCV and kill off the SCV and slow down this push completely. So a missed opportunity for GoRush. This is not good for GoRush, actually. He's trying to put down more sunken colonies. But if he killed off that SCV, that slows this way, way, way down, because then the factory doesn't complete, the machine shop can't go down. The plan is for him to get siege mode and a tank just right outside of the base, and then he doesn't have to worry about the sunken colonies very much. He can just kill them very quickly with the siege tanks. If that factory gets delayed because of the SCV dying, that slows down this whole plan so long. That would have been so clutch if he'd been able to kill off that SCV, and that might have been why he sent those Zerglings out, because he was preparing for this. I mean, this is not an abnormal build. GoRush would have been preparing against practice partners on his team that know this build, and let's, they would have been saying, let's see if we can figure out a way to beat this kind of a push. So that was a really cool tactic, but it didn't quite work out the way he wanted to, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, GoodFriend being very, very good about making sure that he's got these backup forces here. Look at this. He's built his sunken colonies out in tiers. T-I-E-R-S. He's not in tiers because he's like, oh my god, there's Marines outside. He's built them in tiers, so he's gonna force his opponent to siege and unsiege. Siege and unsiege is gonna slow him down a little bit more than if they were in the big line. Oh, he's gonna come in here. He's gonna snipe the SCV on the engineering bay. That is actually very crucial, because we do have a spire completing around now. There's the spire that's complete. He's making mutalisks, and this was perfect timing for that engineering bay to complete, for him to make some turrets nearby, but instead he's not going to have much for defense here again, to defend these tanks against the mutalisks. Now the mutalisks are actually going across the map to his main. GoodFriend is only on one base. He's got no turrets. The engineering base finally complete, but the turrets are still in the process. He's run Zerglings into the main as well. There's nothing in the stopgap there. He's only got one incomplete bunker begun, and it has gone down, and he's counterattacking at the same time. It is a race to see who can kill the other first, and there's sunken colonies going up in the background, but the front line has been completely obliterated. Both players are going to be in each other's mains very soon. Some Zerglings coming out. The firebats say, ha ha ha, that's not going to work. As usual, just a few firebats with medics can completely roast any amount of Zerglings. It's all up to the mutalisks, because the sunken colonies are not there yet. The mutalisks are destroying everything in the opponent's main base, though. And it looks like GoRush might, if he can somehow defend this push. But what has he got to defend it? He's got only drones. What could he use? He's completely stopped his opponent from mining, from doing anything altogether, but his opponent is going to completely overrun him. It may turn into a base race scenario, although I imagine we're probably going to see the Mutalisks fly back to try and clean this up. Is probably the tactic we're going to see here, because those Terran units could destroy the buildings of the Zerg a lot faster than vice versa. The drones have all been obliterated. Their blood litters the ground in his main base. He's going to leave the Zerglings to finish off the base. The command center dies. He doesn't lift a command center, but the lair is going to die shortly thereafter as well. He is bringing the Mutalisks back. Can he actually defeat this group of Marines with just these Mutalisks? He's trying to make more Sunkens at his second base. He has 3 Sunkens up. He got 3 Sunkens up at his expansion, and that is crucial. That means that GoodFriend cannot just stim in there and kill off GoRush's expansion and eliminate him from the game. He's got to spend some time sieging up against those sunken colonies. And actually, the lair is not even dead. He didn't actually fell back. He tried to go, and this is actually, maybe he should have done it sooner. Go, leave the lair for dead. The lair doesn't actually matter. The lair does not matter at all. And the Mutalisks have picked off the tanks. The Mutalisks have picked off the tanks. They're going to be able to stand guard on top of those sunken colonies. And I think GoRush has this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think GoodFriend... Okay, GoodFriend has one more tank, and that is it. He's still probably not mining at his main. I think the Zerglings are still rampaging in there. I don't think there's any SCVs left. Unless they've gone back, actually. They may have cleaned up the main. He may be mining again. The Sunkens are going down. There's just one tank, though, and he almost certainly cannot afford to... Oh, beautiful. Oh, okay, never mind. He's going for the buildings. I thought he was catching reinforcing units or something like that. But, when those Sunkens are close to going down, we're probably going to see him go in with Zerglings from both sides and the Mutalisks. If he can win one battle, against this Terran army, he wins the game. But if he loses the battle, he will then lose the elimination race. It's all going to be down to one battle. And our Zerg player GoRush is trying to build up as much as possible here. He's pumping out Zerglings. You can see he's hiding them away in the back, so they are not going to be damaged by the tanks until the very last second that he's going to go in with both forces at the same time. And sensing this, he's going in from the back. The Sunkens are down. He stims in. The Mutalisks come in from the back. He baits them back. The Marines recollect. The medics are losing energy, but he's going to be able to get that tank. He does get the tank, but the Marines are killing off the buildings. The spawning pool is about to die, and he's about to lose all the drones as well. He's got one last chance, but he's saving up everything for this. Here he goes in. Zerglings and Mutalisks going in. If he can defeat this one Marine army, he will be able to win the game. And it looks like the Zerglings have all died, but so have the Firebats. The Mutalisks just have a few Marines left to polish up, and they're going to be able to polish him up. He kills every single Marine. Every drone is dead. Every Marine is dead. Every medic is dead. But it doesn't matter because the Mutalisks are still alive. And there's the GG. Wow. GoRush has defeated GoodFriend on a very difficult map to do so. Oh, man. I can't believe it came down to elimination race. They didn't show... GoodFriend's base, but I have to imagine that those Zerglings, he had enough Zerglings on the map that he must have shut down any possibility of a comeback there. I didn't see what happened to his SCVs. I didn't see where they went, but because I thought he ran some of them away. But apparently GoodFriend was just completely dead in the water. He didn't have anything to fall back to. He was just focusing on that one push to see if he could beat that army once, and GoRush did a beautiful job. He said, you know what? You're not mining. I'm going to just hold my horses. I'm going to wait until the very last minute, produce as many things as possible. And he did. He produced enough Zerglings that they were able to get in there and do enough damage to win that battle. And with the Mutalisks still alive, there was no chance for GoodFriend. So, well played. Wow, both players having basically 0 workers at the end of the game. Kind of an amazing finale to that game. So, GG. Game 1 goes to GoRush. Well done. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.